Parallel frequencies, Just Blane, not the Grinch today, and Coco on the other side. What's up, Coco?
Nothing much. Just hanging out.
Yeah. How was your Christmas? Was it good?
Fantastic. Not sleeping super great, so don't worry about this. I'm just
It's
perking up the old face there. Just getting ready.
It's the
camera
kids.
ready.
It's the kids for me. They're still so hyped up. I got bags under my eyes. I don't think mine went to bed till like midnight last night. I'm sleeping in naps right now. Like that's how I'm getting my,
Just getting by. It's kind of the way the holiday season and this like limbo space, Christmas and New Year's, it's all that kind of feeling. It's that kind of vibe. So you're doing it right. Mine is stomach aches from all the treats.
Oh,
That keep me up at night. Too many treats.
the neighbor gifts, man. They kept bringing like food by. I'm like, oh, I can't do no more. But I kept eating it, and yeah, I did pack on some weight, I think, but probably necessary here. You know what? It got heated in our comments section about.
I have no doubt.
Guess what it was about? Guess what it was about?
Well, there was the Rudolph rant.
Oh yeah. Well, hey,
And there was Die Hard.
that's the one right there. Now, when we put out an episode, I guess on Christmas Day here, it looks like, and it's Die Hard versus It's a Wonderful Life, and the comments got a little wild. This one right here says neither Die Hard nor It's a Wonderful Life are Christmas movies, which I can see that, and I'll get to that. The next one, Watch It Every Christmas, followed by Home Alone, both Christmas movies. Then you got Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. It's a movie set at Christmas. Whoa, wait a minute. We'll get into my thoughts on that. And then here's the one that got me. And I got to looking into this a little deeper, but It's a Wonderful Life and Lethal Weapon are the same movie. This comment's not wrong.
Okay.
It's not wrong. Both movies have the exact same story arcs. You even got the angel on the side. It's not Clarence, it's Murdaugh or whatever on the other side. Like, it's all there. I don't want to get too crazy into that right now. But that's an insane theory. They are the same movie.
I could see it. I could see it.
When people argue Die Hard is a Christmas movie, they should be throwing Lethal Weapon in there because that is a Christmas movie.
And I am of the belief that everybody is right. Everybody is a little bit right. I don't feel very strongly one side or the other. I'm like, yeah, if it's a Christmas movie for you and you want to watch Die Hard or Lethal Weapon every Christmas, do it. It's your Christmas movie. It's your Christmas. You do whatever you want.
I mean,
right?
If we want to get real about it, Terrifier 3 is more Christmas movie than any of these, with Art the Clown dressed as Santa Claus, and that's the whole plot. That's part of the plot. It's not just a set in the movie. So Terrifier 3 is more Christmas movie than It's a Wonderful Life. Throw the hate at me. Die Hard and Lethal Weapon. Maybe not Lethal Weapon. I don't know. But I think so. I think that's how it goes. But
actually, speaking of It's a Wonderful Life, I saw a preview for The Life of Chuck, and I haven't seen that movie yet, but they're calling it the modern day It's a Wonderful Life. So that's on my list of to be watched.
Now, the one comment that said, neither are Christmas movies, and then there was another that said, oh, well, they're Christmas movies, and then another one said, well, it's just set at Christmas. Well, then there's your argument. Die Hard and It's a Wonderful Life are just set at Christmas time. So are they Christmas movies or are they not Christmas movies? Because if you watch It's a Wonderful Life, there is nothing in the plot about Christmas.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter when it happens.
Angels can be around all year. It doesn't have to be Christmas time.
No.
But I guess the gauge for that is, can you just lift the portion of it that's Christmas out and it's essentially the same movie? Is that the way we're judging that?
I guess it could be. I don't know. Well, somebody in the comments will get back at us and they'll, get the heat. They'll get heated up again about this Christmas stuff, like these Christmas movies. Like you said, I like what you said. Watch whatever.
Yeah. You do you. You
do you.
10 Commandments is and forever will be an Easter movie for my dad.
Okay.
even though
Yeah.
it's technically shown around Easter time because it's Passover. My dad said growing up, though, he remembered that playing on TV every Easter. So that's kind of his tradition, is to watch 10 Commandments at Easter time.
I totally get that. I totally could see that, you know? Gathered
do.
around the Christmas tree, watching 10 Commandments, watching whatever you think is a Christmas. I watch Terrifier 3. I like Art the Clown. And,
Okay.
that's me.
Yeah, I'm not going to stand in your way. But if we need to wrap up this kind of holiday season, there's still some unfinished business we have to attend to.
Okay. Then what are you talking about?
We got to go to the Christmas tree lots.
I knew it. It's from me cutting down that damn Christmas tree back in my school days, right?
Afraid so.
All right. Well, let's get out there then. Now, what in the world did you drag me all the way out here?
Well, remember the Christmas vacation episode we did, Parallel Frequencies, and you talked about stealing a Christmas tree from someone's yard?
I do, and it looked a lot like what we're standing here.
Yeah. Well, we got to make it right.
How are we gonna make it right?
Energetically,
What is this?
that karma, you don't want to live with that. We've got
don't.
to...
Oh my God, I just saw the sign. Tree recycling? What do we got to do here? What am I going to do?
You're going to have to take one of these trees and return it to the earth. Give it
All
back.
right. All right, so what? I just got to grab one of these bad boys right here and just drag it out of here?
Let's go.
Now, Courtney, gosh. Now, Courtney, you got me all messed up.
You did it.
All right, I'm going to get out of here. Now, we went.
I still can't believe you could drag that tree out of there.
That thing was heavy. I'm not going to lie. I had to man up a little bit there and make sure that I can get that tree out of there. That was out at Kinlan's.
Yeah. And I would say Kinlan's a great little farm locally here. And to be honest with you, they probably do a great job at recycling those trees, knowing them and knowing what they do and how they always return things to the earth. So
Yeah.
I imagine that they're going to take all of those trees and create some mulch, and it's going to fertilize the soil for the next crop. So shout out to Kinlan's. They do a great job.
Now, after you left, though, I went out of my way. I just want you to know I went out of my way to make this happen. And I didn't just, give this tree back to the earth. This is what happened when we got out there.
All right, girl, just a little farther. Come on, tree, you and me.
Made it across, folks.
Let's set her up.
Wow, that's the biggest tree we've ever seen. Yay.
Trees.
Now, you see there,
Is this the island of misfit toys?
I dragged that tree just through all of the candy cane forests and everything else and made it to the island of misfit toys. And I gave those misfits something to be happy about. So I did pay off my debts, I think, and not just return this tree to the earth, but I took it to the Isle of Misfit Toys. Are you happy now, Courtney?
Oh, it wasn't ever for me.
Okay.
But I think that the universe has come full circle. We can close that chapter, and you can go to sleep at night knowing that all is well. An offering has been made.
Not only an offering, but let's get another look at that, because this cost me a lot of money to get this.
All right, girl, just a little farther.
But here it is again.
Made it across, folks.
Let's set her up.
Wow, that's the biggest tree we've ever seen. Yay.
Trees.
Tree secured is what they say right there. Look at that.
How did you get the rope coming out of the bottom of the tree like that? That's incredible.
Look at that. That's awesome. I took that bad boy out to the Isle of Misfit Toys and set it up for them so they could have a Christmas tree from now on. So the one I cut down with a couple of roommates back in college, I know you're out there watching. Look, I paid it off for us, man. I took care of us. The Fae people won't be coming after us no more. No more.
Yeah. Those tree spirits, those fae folk, you never know who you're angering when you mess with them, right?
You don't. And you know who's angry out there right now is Vecna in Stranger Things. Have you caught up yet?
Mm-mm.
No?
You know what? I was all set up to catch up, and we had a internet outage for almost 24 hours. So here I was at home, like dying to get caught up with those new episodes that came out over the holidays, and I'm still behind. But
You are in for a treat. I'm just going to tell you that. I've watched them. I was on the edge of my seat. They're really going all out. I love it. I don't see how they can really mess it up. Any way they go, they can't really mess it up. There's one episode left this week. This has been like 10 years of TV.
I know.
And it's finally coming to an end. Like, that's big. I remember shows over the years coming to an end, you know, like Breaking Bad, or how about Friends and Seinfeld? Those are giants.
Oh, I remember that. I remember those finales. We had the finale of Seinfeld on VHS for many years because I was actually on a field trip the night that it aired. I was not available to be home. And back in those days, kids, just so y'all know, the little ones who are watching,
Yeah, right.
you had to watch it when it was on. If you happen to have a VCR that you could time out the recording and make sure it recorded it for you, you might get to catch it up later. But otherwise, you were out of luck until the reruns came out.
Yeah, sucked, right?
Yeah, remember those days. But Seinfeld was one of the biggest, hugest watch numbers for a finale.
Friends too. I think other shows out there didn't even air shows when Friends was on. Like, I think a lot of stuff went off the air, and it was like, let's pay respect. Also, let's not get our asses handed to us in the ratings, because nobody was going to watch. It didn't matter, you know. So
Yeah.
I love that.
And now that we have these streaming shows that are not coming out weekly like we were used to in the olden days,
Yeah.
and it was like season after season. I mean, the run of the show would be consistent until it was done, right? These shows, like Stranger Things, we've had these huge breaks, years between seasons, and it kind of feels like Game of Thrones. That's the feeling that I get, because it was like, oh my gosh, we have all been invested in this for half of our lives, for most of the actors' lives. And for me personally, I read the Game of Thrones books before the series even begun. So I had been in it for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
See there? It's like one of them Harry Potter type situations. We saw those kids grow up and make a bunch of movies, and, you know, it was... I enjoy that. I do. I enjoy watching these young actors come up. 2025 was a big year for TV. You know, it was a weird year. 2025 was a weird year. Not flying cars weird. More like everybody's pretending everything's normal while the walls are humming weird, you know? Like, that's kind of how it was. But when this happens, television does something interesting. Stops being a distraction and kind of starts being a confession of everything going on. This year, the best shows weren't asking what if, they were asking how did we get here, who's in charge, and who benefits. Every system out there eventually tells you the truth that it's dangerous. Like, that's what all of these shows that I liked in 2025 really had in common. My shows, before I even get to them and break them down one by one, is Alien Earth. That was a 2025 show. I loved it. Welcome to Derry. You know my thoughts on Pennywise. Halo. Remember that show? I want to get into that one. Pluribus. Severance was 2025. That was almost a year ago, January 2025.
We got to do a whole rewatch of Severance on Parallel.
I can't wait.
We're going to put a pin in that one. Yeah.
And we also saw Cassian Andor finish off getting the plans to the Death Star. Like, that was 2025. So, you know, these were my favorite shows, and I know you got some that you want to throw in there too, but those right there were bangers.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of those are on my list. I still have yet to see Alien Earth, so that's on my to be watched list, which I have plenty of to keep me busy over the winter. And Silo, one of my absolute favorites. But again, I read the books before that came out, which was called Wool, the first book. So, because wool is what they use to clean the camera, do the cleaning.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of Steve Zahn. So yeah, that Silo is at the top of my list.
Well, let's talk
Severance
about
is one we're gonna watch.
You want to go ahead and talk about Silo right now? Because we can break that thing down just a little bit and tell people what it's all about. I'd love to get that one out of the way. So
yeah, kind of post-apocalyptic world. An entire civilization exists underground in a silo.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly huge. So it takes days to walk the staircase. There's one staircase that goes all the way down. And so at the very bottom, you have like people working in maintenance. So they're maintaining the machines and the generator that operate the entire silo. But they're told, this whole civilization, that they cannot exit the silo because the world is toxic out there.
Yep.
And so if anybody ever says the words, I want out, legally, they have this law system where they're arrested and they go out for cleaning, and no one has ever survived a cleaning.
It's a vertical bunker, and their key phrase in the whole thing is it's for your own good. And people don't get to question it, you know? There's no windows, no verified history. Curiosity is treated like a crime in this show. Mm-hmm. Sounds a little bit like parallels to real life, if you ask me. But we're not here for getting into the politics going on, because this show, though, really shows that a system can crumble. And if the society around you telling you curiosity is dangerous, you're not being protected, you're being managed. And that's what's happening here. Mm-hmm. You know, these people they're really being managed. And the fear, they don't have to be beaten into submission here. They just got to be convinced that to fear the outside world is worse than what they're living in.
And then it becomes this whole question of what's real and what is our government telling us that we don't know and why. And throughout the series, as it goes on, you start to question everything. You start to question, well, maybe the people who are in power were right all along, and maybe they had maybe there is no right way to make sure everybody stays safe. And in this world, the world that they're living in this post-apocalyptic world, it's kind of like one person's wrongdoing could mean the entire system breaks down.
Yeah, and I think they're living through comfort, because if everything works like it should, then they will be comfortable there. And if one part of it breaks, and that's why they're all so tattletale, really. Like, people are, they're ratting everybody out. It's like, oh, so-and-so is working up this plan and this and that. And it's so corrupt, but it works, but it doesn't. And you keep watching it, and it's a slow burn. I love that it's a slow burn. It's taking, how many seasons deep are they now? 2, 3?
Ooh, I can't remember.
There are a couple.
They're doing a few years between seasons as well, because, there was things like writer strikes and that in a way.
Yep. And I love this show because it really does parallel the rest of the shows that I was going to talk about, and probably a lot of yours too. But the shows themselves, even Alien Earth, Welcome to Derry, they're not about monsters. They're about systems, corporations, governments, institutions, rules you don't agree to, histories you're not allowed to verify. And guess what? Every one of these stories lives in a controlled environment. You got a ship, a town, a bunker, silo, an office, and an empire. Those are the shows that I mentioned off the top. You think about all that.
Isolation.
They're all different genres, but the same warning right there in your face. And that's what I'm saying. This is parallel to real society, I think, going on. And that's why we're looking at these TV shows as not distractions anymore. This isn't me getting distracted from the real world. It's me maybe tapping in even deeper, thinking,
for sure.
Oh my gosh.
I know when I watch anything, I'm always applying it to, what does this mean about us as in humanity? Yeah. What does this mean about us as humans? And speaking of systems, one of my other favorite shows that I watched, a little miniseries, Death by Lightning.
Okay.
The story of, it was the story of James Garfield, president.
Yes.
Everybody in this is excellent. Everybody. Nick Offerman is in it. He's fantastic. But I just happened upon it. I don't even remember why I clicked on it. It's not something I normally would try out, but it's one of those kinds of historical drama / a little bit of comedy, I think, here and there. But it's enough to make you realize that there's so much about our own history we were never told. James Garfield was like a footnote in our history books. Mm-hmm. He died a few months into pregnancy, or into his presidency, right? So 20th president, he was shot and then didn't die right away. So there was this sort of limbo period where they were like, our president is dying. What do we do? How do we handle this? The vice president wasn't really super capable of taking office, so people were worried. And I found myself, it's one of those that you watch and you start Googling, did this really happen? Is that real? There's a speech that he gives in the beginning that gets him elected that you're like, did that really happen? Was he up there to endorse somebody else and then he ended up, everybody voted for him because his speech was so amazing? So I highly recommend that one for anyone listening.
So did you research? Was it historically accurate, or were there...
I mean, for the most part, I think they take some liberties, obviously, with some creative choices. But it was a really good look and insight into who James Garfield was and his family, and how he really got to where he was.
Yeah.
And that even though he had such a short time as president, it was during a time when our country was really coming to some very important decisions about who we are as Americans. I think that was really, really important to emphasize. And I wish that he had more said about him in history books so that people would know all that. Yeah.
What channel was this, or what streaming service? Do you remember?
Netflix. Do you know? I just have to say, I think Netflix was killing it this year. With all the new shows they came out with. I think probably most of my favorite shows were on Netflix this year.
That's a good question to pose to our listeners is, what is your favorite streaming service? Which one did you watch the most? Mine come from a variety of different sources. Alien Earth, the next one I want to talk about. Alien Earth is FX, or I guess Hulu now, right? Like, so was it at Disney?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Alien
all wrapped
Earth,
up in that package. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know how big of an Alien fan I am. Like, that's, if you ask me what is the scariest movie out there, it's got to be Alien. And I know people are like, oh, no, let's start a big debate here. Let me tell you why. It's because it's isolation. You're in space. You got nowhere to go. And there's this perfect organism hunting you. You're not going to win. It's one of those that you're like sitting at home. You're thinking, if I was in that situation, I'm gone. You know, there's no way out. I'm done. And that's why Alien always hit me like that. It was terrifying. And it's the scariest movie ever if you can put yourself into those characters' shoes, per se, their spacesuits or whatever you want to call it. Alien Earth took us back to that same type of way. I'm not going to do spoilers, but Alien finally comes home. That alone should make you feel uncomfortable. The show, it understands something the franchise has always known at its core. The xenomorph isn't the villain. The corporation is. And that's where I go again. It's real society stuff. It's, you know, the fact that every alien story eventually ends the same way. It's somebody in a boardroom decided that your life was acceptable as a loss. You know, like it's fed to mother. Yeah. It's fed to all of them. So I love the show. And it slowed things down. This thing really slowed it down. But they got the chance to do that. You know, they had 8 episodes or whatever. You can take your time and really build a story. Let the dread accumulate, you know, like it did. You got to check that one out. I think everybody needs to watch this.
Yeah. Well, I could see what you mean when you brought up all of those horror movies we did when we did the Witch Movie Project and some of the Ghost Movie Project movies we did, where that feeling of isolation, where you're locked somewhere, you can't get out.
Yeah.
That creates a real sense of that same feeling that you're talking about with alien movies. And I can definitely sense that, but I think when I think of what gets me in horror more than anything is those shows, the series, the Ed Gein story, Monster.
Okay,
and they did the series, the Dahmer. Even the series Mindhunter, which was in 2017. Unfortunately, they didn't continue that series. And I'm just making a plug right now. Netflix, if you're listening, please bring that show back. We want more Mindhunter. When I watch those that are about the serial killers, about the really psychologically disturbing individuals and what makes them tick, what makes them do the incredibly disturbing things that they do, that gets me probably more than something like Alien, just because to me, the terror of someone like that being my next door neighbor or Ted Bundy, you know, somebody who's very charming and you just happen to meet out in public and he could be one of those guys, one of those serial killers.
Yeah.
Those series get me.
Those are popular. Those true crime and because I think everybody loves to get into the mind of the, the crazy and see what it really was like.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can ever really tap into that other than this is the closest thing is these documentaries. Like I think they're amazing for that too. They should teach these in psychological in psychology classes, and show and I remember my psychology classes and it was really scary to find out that there is a very, very thin line between crazy and not. Like it was wild to start thinking about that.
Yes.
And people like this, people like a Ted Bundy or Ed Gein, they were able to do both. They were able to tap into both sides of crazy and not crazy and be these crazy serial killers.
It's a total mind warp, especially Ed Gein. I mean, there was when they did the Dahmer series, it was about like I expected. It was just kind of like ugh. But what I found really fascinating with Ed Gein's story is by the end of the series, as I finished that off, I almost felt sorry for him. And that almost creeps me out more than anything, is that I'd be like, ugh. But the way they portrayed him as, someone who unfortunately just suffered from these schizophrenia and being raised by a certain type of mother. And I mean, there are just all of these factors that go into what made him who he was. And you almost kind of feel bad for someone like that. Like they didn't have a chance, really. Like he was gonna become what he became no matter how hard he tried. So that's kind of an interesting way that they portray that. And I think they did an incredible job, even though it's not for everybody. Yeah. Even I, who is interested in that, was having a hard time getting through it. I was like, well, can we just skip this part? I don't want to see this.
The next show I want to talk about is going to make Ed Gein look like your best friend. Like and make them look like good guys, because Welcome to Derry and the Pennywise Bill Skarsgård played in this puts everything else to shame. It was terrifying. The entire season was, and I know we're talking about real life versus a Stephen King work, but they have taken this thing. I'm talking to the top tier. Like it is upper echelons of horror. There are iconic scenes already in here that are going to go down in horror history. That there's a shot of Pennywise. I'm not even going to. Oh my God, I got it in my head. But this show, they've kind of figured out how to weave all this together. All the King-verse, Stephen King-verse, and all of the it stuff. They figured out how to tie this together and fill in a lot of gaps. And I know you're thinking, were there gaps? Maybe not. But if there were, they definitely made them. So that they can, because they got three seasons for sure of Welcome to Derry coming. And it's just repetition is what makes this show. And some people who've already seen it will get that. But it's the same violence, same excuses. Nothing like that ever happens here. Nobody ever believes that it's going to happen. But that's part of it, too. It's like there's a mind eraser, the further you get from Derry or whatever it is. But there's all this stuff going on. And it's really just cultural amnesia going on right there in that society. They want to forget all this bad shit that happened, but it happened in 27-year intervals that we're going to see now. So the next season, I think season 2, whenever they drop that bad boy, is going to come out, and it's going to be previous to the season we just saw. It'll be like the 27-year cycle from before. So they're really weaving a tale together. I love it. Pennywise makes Ed Gein look like a puppy dog, You're
going to beat me over the head with it, and I'm going to get to it. It's on my list. I'm going to watch that It series. I mean, I was going to watch it. Yeah. How was I not going to watch it? Of course I'm going to watch it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'll get there. But yeah, another one on my list was Wayward. Mae Martin, Toni Collette, our favorite, our lovely Toni Collette. Love her. Yeah. But that was another one that was kind of not horror necessarily, but Definitely weirdness. Enough weirdness going on in a community where you're like, something odd is going on here. You start noticing little things in the beginning in the first couple episodes where you're like, this little community is odd.
Yeah.
There's no children. Every time they're out, you don't see any children. Why is that? Wayward teens are brought to this facility where they're supposed to be rehabilitated and given lots of treatment and therapy, but it's kind of like, is it good for them or is this doing something weird? Is it brainwashing? What's happening? And Mae Martin playing a character that is somebody that was an outsider coming in and kind of observing it all from a different perspective. So they're kind of going, what's going on here? So I loved that series as well. One that I recommend to anybody. How about comedies? Was there anything funny that you watched this year that you feel like stand out?
Not really. I like the more sci-fi type stuff, What about you? What'd you watch that was funny? Anything?
Well, I like to shake it up. I like to make sure I have a little mixture of both, especially if I'm watching Ed Gein or something like that. We'll watch an episode of that, and then I'll go, okay, I need a palate cleanser before I go to bed. Like, I need something to wash that out. Do you know what I mean? So I loved Maya Rudolph's Loot on Apple. I just started watching Minx, which is pretty clever, and I think it's pretty funny. Nobody Wants This with Kristen Bell was a great series. Let's see what else.
Sounds like you watched a lot of Apple.
Yeah, those were all on Apple. I mean, I love the morning show on Apple, so there's some things there. HBO has The Gilded Age. I love a good period drama.
Yes.
Downton Abbey was one of my favorites the whole time it was on. And so when The Gilded Age came out, I was like...
Apple TV really crushes it with a lot of their shows. Pluribus was on my list, and I know you got to get to that one still.
I know. It's on my list.
You know what?
Okay,
Pluribus,
you watch...
You give me one. I'll watch something, you watch something. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a trade. You watch... I was going to say Love is Blind. No. How about you watch Minx?
Okay.
I think you'll like that one.
All right.
That one's on Minx, I think.
And you check out Pluribus. That's a Vince Gilligan because he was Breaking Bad. It's a quiet one. This one's very quiet. You don't recommend the show lightly, just like any Vince Gilligan, TV show, really. That's all I'm going to say. I'll give you this. I saw the finale, and it lingers. It lingers in your mind. So it doesn't resolve too cleanly. It does. It lingers. But that's the point of the whole show. There's Apple TV crushed it with another one, Severance. That was January 2025. That was about a year ago. And it was, season 2?
That's one I'm still thinking about almost daily. The whole concept of the idea of balance between work life and home life, and then what is society really doing to us that we've come to a place where we need something like that because we are basically slaves to the man.
Yep.
So there's a lot we can discuss about Severance.
It's this whole show is just an HR manual with a horror budget. Like, that's what it is. It's
the work is mysterious and important.
Very mysterious and important. I got to tell you something, and I might get taken out tonight after I say this, but I worked at Apple. There's not a lot of difference in what you see in Severance. Like, it feels... It does. It feels like...
we're not going to tell you why you're doing this, but click this button every 2 hours and then turn this crank. And if you don't, someone might die, but we won't... But we're not going to tell you whether they do or not.
We're not going to tell you. But it is. Working at Apple Music was a lot. Even the office is... I worked there during COVID, but I did start going in. It felt very much like what you saw in Severance. I was like...
Okay.
Watching that show, feeling uncomfortable, I was like, wait a minute. I know Bert. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? I do miss about a job, and I've never really worked in kind of a corporate office quite like that. But I will say that when I watched it, I thought, they bring in a waffle cart once in a while when you do a good job. I wouldn't mind somebody doing that for me when I work for myself. I don't ever reward myself with a waffle cart or a band playing when you finally meet your goal and somebody brings a marching band in. I'm like, that can't be that bad.
Nah, absolutely not. I don't think I ever got a. They never brought a marching band in for me, but that'd have been pretty cool. Like, yeah, you know what? They didn't do
I
a
think
lot.
we
They
should
didn't do a
get
lot of that.
something.
I
There
will
should
tell
be
you what. You know what was realistic was the fact that you did work in a department and you did your job, and there was people I never talked to, and I knew that they did their job, and ours all came together. That was very realistic in Severance and how it was at Apple Music. Like I said, if they come get me tonight, if I disappear right now, it's Apple. Somebody up there.
We'll know
they
why.
came and got me. Yeah, they came and got me because I told that. But
that's all right. We'll
off.
go looking for you. We'll send out a search party. We'll be going through mazes and mazes of hallways, and then we'll get to a room where there's a goat for some reason, and we're not really sure why. Sounds good.
I can't tell you about the goat. I can't mention the goat. I did sign an NDA for the goat. So, what other show did you see out there? What else you got on your list? I got one more, but you can go first, and then we'll get to mine.
You know, just in just mentioning some of the reality shows that I, may not be current to just this year, but I will say the documentary Pee-wee as himself, this documentary about Paul Rubens, was really touching. I loved watching that and learning a little bit more about him and his journey of Pee-wee. That was pretty incredible. I always love learning about like the background of somebody, where did Freddie Mercury come from, or what, how did this person become famous? So it was interesting to see that. And I recommend that. I am an avid watcher of the Kardashians. So keeping up with the Kardashians all those years ago, and now on Hulu, the Kardashians, you can say what you want about it. At some point in life, we'll talk about trash TV. Is it really trash TV, or is there purpose to it? Yep.
I mean, I worked with her.
There she is. There's my girl.
Look how awesome she looks in that photo. Like, she's on point always. I think she came in when I was at Big Boy, and I feel like we signed a whole bunch of papers because they were recording, we were recording. I might be on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians somewhere in the background.
Love to go back and check and see. I've been following them from the beginning. I think it just is something I got kind of wrapped out. I was like, this is kind of cool or interesting or whatever, and there was not much else on TV at the time. But over the years, it starts to kind of feel like you know them. And now I can't stop watching it. It's just my weekly routine now.
It's by design. I mean, they really wanted people to come into their world. I got nothing to say bad about her. I know people do. She's polarizing. Mm-hmm. I mean, she got rich from a porn tape or whatever. People say all they want.
Right.
But she's hardworking.
Just famous for being famous, which I can go into my rant about how that. Absolutely. I probably would have said the same thing many years ago. I'd be like, yeah, it's trash TV. It's just, drama. It's whatever. But at this point, I mean, she's over 40. I'm a certain age now. And I have to say, I have to give her credit. If you haven't watched from the beginning like I have, I'm not sure people can really judge, because this woman is incredible. She's been doing law school for the last 6 years. She's had guest speaking at Harvard Business School because she really knows her stuff. She knows what she's doing. She's very intelligent. Now, did she start on third base with a lot of privilege? Absolutely. So we're not even going to pretend like she just got there all on her own. But is she skilled and smart and creative and kind of deserving of all that she gets? I think so. Let's give her credit where it's due. She's kind of amazing. So
look,
good for her.
Being as rich and famous as her doesn't come without a bunch of haters. I mean, that's really all it comes down to.
I would aspire to have the haters.
Well,
has, maybe.
You know how to do it. You just got to make a sex tape, let somebody find it, and then work your way up from there. Let Ryan Seacrest and then host and produce your show.
See, that's the thing. She didn't just have the thing to be famous with the sex tape. And then, if she didn't have any talent, skills, or anything whatsoever, that would have all died off a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
But because her and Kris Jenner and everybody has all that business savvy, they really know what they're doing. And I don't have that yet. trying to learn along the way. But as far as branding, and I don't even know. I mean, look at Kylie Jenner and all of her success. It's just incredible. It's amazing.
She's a billionaire. They're all billionaires. They're all billionaires. It's crazy. It's wild.
Private jet someday. And you know what? When I watch the Kardashians, I don't feel that same low frequency, heavy trash TV feeling. You know how when you watch trash TV, it's just for fun, and then you're just kind of like, I'm dumber after this.
Yeah.
I feel dumber after watching that. I don't get that from the Kardashians. I get motivated. I watch it while I'm getting ready in the morning. I put on maybe a little more makeup than usual because I'm watching the Kardashians. I want to look glam. And then I feel like ready to go out and live my like rock star life that they're living. So, you know, say what you want about it, but that's what I've been watching.
There she is again. We should just get her on the show. What do you think? Get Kim on?
Kim, if you're listening, let's be besties.
I don't want to sign 43 pages worth of whatever all that was that I had to sign again. So, Kim, if we can not do that, we'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah,
right?
Little shout out to you. You shout out to us. We'll my people call your people. We'll get it together. But Love is Blind is another one, trash TV that I did for reality shows. I never miss a season of Love is Blind, and that pretty much is trash TV. But it's funny. It's funny to watch people do that.
My trash TV is I watched Squid Games, the actual. There's a reality version that's not the TV show they made. It is a game show. I'm like, you know what? Wait a minute, $4 million. Like, let me apply. I might be on Squid Game season 4 or something. I don't know. I might have to figure out how to apply, get myself on there, and get some money. You know, because that show, it's trash, but I don't know. I start watching it and I'm like, oh, these people are really playing chess. Some guys are playing checkers and some people are playing chess. You know, it's like, it's wild to watch how it's all working. And then it can all get cut off and not even your fault. I watched Squid Game. The actual show also wrapped up this year. I love that. People hated it. Get over it. Andor was my only last show that I really wanted to get into, but you know, it was the one that Cassian Andor finally fills that gap between episode 4 and 5 or whatever, you know, and he gets the Death Star schematics, but we take this journey with this bum. Like, he starts off as a bum with no purpose, and then the next thing you know, he's saving an entire fucking universe, you know? So
yeah, it's pretty exciting.
It is. It was fun. I think that was a fun one. I was pretty hyped up about season 3 coming for Andor, and then I realized there is no season 3, but that's the end, you know? So
you just have to watch all the movies all over again and fit in those puzzle pieces and everywhere that, you know, Rogue One filled in some things. And I'm a big fan. I love Star Wars. I love the whole Star Wars universe more so than I've not gotten into Star Trek really at all. But Star Wars, I was a big fan. And I will say I'm not as interested watching it if Ewan McGregor is not in it. Just because he's a hottie and he's probably the reason why I watched episode 1 to start with.
Well, speaking of Star Trek, I want to talk about 2026 TV shows. We've talked about 2025, but I got some stuff that's coming out in 2026 that I'm pretty hyped up about, including Paramount Plus, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, a new series. You know, they got a new series coming out. I love Star Trek. I mean, I named a child after a character from Star Trek, you know, so it's in the blood, literally.
I know.
It's in the blood.
And for a lot of people, it's Star Trek or Star Wars, not both for a lot of people. So maybe that's another debate we could get into it in the comments is, are you Star Wars or Star Trek, or is there anyone out there who's actually both?
If you thought it got heated in the Die Hard versus It's a Wonderful Life Christmas movie debate, you wait till we throw out Star Trek versus Star Wars and see what happens. It's gonna be a meltdown over here. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones got a brand new series.
I'm excited about. Huge Game of Thrones fan.
I gotta tell you though, I don't know if I'm as excited about the new series, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The trailers haven't really got me hyped up yet. I know I'm not gonna probably see dragons and all that, Go watch House of the Dragon if you want to see that.
Yeah.
Which I think is also dropping this year, 2026, maybe. I don't know if they've got that.
And that was
But
kind of
I
mixed
love that
reviews too. Some people loved it. Some people was like, meh. And I was maybe a little more meh because I really loved the original series. I was one of those, and again, we can spark some more debates. So for people who want to let us know your thoughts, how the original Game of Thrones series ended. I'm one of those who still like, George R.R. Martin, when are you going to finish the books so we can fix it? I feel like the series ended in a way that was like, no, what? You messed it up. So I would love for him to like release the books finally. There's a lot of characters that weren't in the show that were in the books. So we're all just kind of on the edge of our seats going, when are we going to wrap this up? But here we keep coming out with more prequels and other Game of Thrones series.
You know that guy's never finishing that damn book.
I know.
I got another one I'm excited about coming out on Peacock. I was watching the NFL playoffs. I watched NFL on Christmas Day. The Burbs. Have you seen this trailer for The Burbs? That's going to be wild.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. I just saw the name pop up when I was looking. And you know what? I think my husband's going to be really excited about that.
You remember The Burbs. It had Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Bruce Dern. Like, that was the...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think...
We used to have the pajamas that he wears in the... I can't remember if he wears it in the movie or if it's just on the cover, on the poster of the movie. He has those pajama pants. And Matt was always like, I have those pajama pants when we were younger. Doesn't anymore, but...
Starring Keke Palmer, Max Carver, Jack Whitehall, and Paula Pell. I think that's going to be a banger there. I think that's going to be good. Speaking of Peacock, NBC, Scrubs is coming back. That's going to be huge. People are going to be going crazy for that. I didn't watch Scrubs that much, but I know it's a huge cultural impact. So... Did you watch it?
I watched it here and there. I wasn't like a diehard avid. I maybe haven't seen it all the way through for sure. But those reboots are fun if they're done well. I think sometimes it's kind of like, oh, it's a little disappointing. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. Maybe the writers aren't the same. It just doesn't have quite the same camaraderie feeling when they bring it back. So I'm interested to see how Scrubs comes back, and I'm interested to see what the Malcolm in the Middle, Life is Still Unfair series going to look like. That's going to be fire.
All of the originals are coming back, right? Bryan Cranston, all of them, they're coming back for that?
As far as I know, this is what I mean. This is the rumor.
There's no way they can go wrong with that. Like, none of them probably need to come back and do that show. So they're coming back because maybe they all came together and said, it's time. Like, let's do this.
They all want to do it. Awesome. I think that'd be amazing. I want to see where they all end up. Give me some hope that my wild, feral young boys are going to make it in the adult world, no matter what happens now. And
Netflix has Bridgerton season 4, part 1 and 2 dropping. That's going to be big for your period, TV series watching people out there. That's going to be a big one.
I'm into that.
And then one more I'll throw out. AMC. I love AMC Plus and Shudder and all that. Joe Bob Briggs. But they got a show out there called Dark Winds. And it's a Navajo tribal police force, basically. It's wild. It's a good show. That one's coming out with a new season. You don't want to miss that one either. What else you got? You got any more shows before we wrap this thing up and what we got looking forward to in 2026?
That pretty much covers it. I'm excited for all of the returning shows that are picking up a new season and coming out, things that we've been watching. And I've got a lot of catching up to do. I hate to say it, but I just did not get all the things watched in 2025 that I wanted to. So even if new stuff is coming out, I've still got all of the stuff from last year that I've got to catch up on. So you'll be hearing all about that next year.
I'll rewatch most of it too. I love it. I just consume content. So I can't wait for what 2026 has in store. We didn't even name off anything really past February coming out. Like that
Yeah.
was just the first couple months of 2026. So the rest
That'll
of that
get-
year, we'll be here talking. We'll be right here talking about the hottest shows coming out, the stuff that's the most fun. We'll be breaking Stranger Things down season 5 because it's gonna be over with here soon. Sadly, my heart hurt a little bit when I
So
said
hurry
that.
and finish it up so you can join us here and we can talk about it together. You can let us know your thoughts too.
That's it right here. Just Blane, Coco, Parallel Frequencies. We'll see you next time.